Coming up in the morning edition, the country records yet another traffic fatality this morning. The DPM presents the midterm budget, and the Greek Society speak to Black history. Welcome to the morning edition. It's a brand new day. Let's make the best of it. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thanks for starting your day with us. It's a little wet on the outside, so drive safely when you're making your commutes this morning. Our Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean is here to give you the details on today's weather forecast. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. We're going to get you started with our ZNS Tower Cam overlooking the eastern portion of the Providence. You can see some clouds there and even some showers in the distance as well. We'll tell you all about that later on in the newscast, so do stay tuned. Taking a look now at our satellite picture, we have an area of low pressure north of the Bahamas, and trailing out of that is a trough right across the northwestern islands. That will be pushing towards the south during the course of the day, so there will be pockets of cloudiness and a few showers as well. Outside of our studios, we have mostly cloudy skies, temperature at 73 degrees, relative humidity at 88%, south-southwest winds at 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,018.4 millibars, that's 30.07 inches, and it is steady. Your temperatures around the islands this morning, 74s in Marsh, Harbour, Abaco, Greenville, Key, and Freeport as well. As we take you into the Berry Islands, 76 degrees, 76 also in Allenstown, Bimini, 76 in Harbour Island, Rock, Sandy, Lutra, 75, 75 in Otterstown, Cadallas, Daniel, Key, Kemp Space, St. Andrews, Fresh Creek, and Central Andrews, all at 74. In San Salvador, a little warmer at 78 degrees. Rum Key, 75 degrees. In Clarencetown, Long Island, Ragged Island, Crooked Island, Acklands, and Betsy Bay, all at 76 degrees. 77 in Magic Town, Inagua, the Turks and Caicos Islands, also at 77 degrees. And your boating forecasts are for today in the northwestern islands, south to southwest winds at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights down 2 to 4 feet over the ocean, low tide. That will take place at 9:42 this morning, high tide at 3:30 in the afternoon. For the southeast, Bahamas, southeast component as well, 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. And for the southeast, Bahamas, southeast winds a little stronger at 12 to 18 knots, and the wave heights 3 to 6 feet. That's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Meanwhile, Vaughn Aubrey is on our traffic beat this morning. No song in his heart today, and he doesn't have good news. Good morning, Vaughn.
Thanks, LaDawn. We are on the Frank Watson Boulevard. Last night, this is the site of a terrible accident. We're on the northern side of the road, but if my cameraman Lyndon Smith can pan his camera down, about 200 feet down where that sign is, there was a severe weather warning for New Providence last night between the hours of 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. and that resulted in heavy showers. Now we can still see water as our cars drive by. Water took up both lanes. Water took up both lanes and resulted in the car that was traveling east along the Frank Watson Boulevard veering into the southern lane and shaving a number of these casuarina trees. And that car reportedly then ended back up on this side of the road where I am standing, because the impact of that accident right here where I am standing, blood from one of the victims. There were 4 passengers in the car, and some of the contents of the car are around me, and that includes gummy bears and others. With me, Sergeant Jerome Thompson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. That resulted in a death. Tell us about it.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas. Today is a very sad day. We lost another life on the streets. A very young person, a teenager, a male believed to be 17 years old. He would have succumbed to his injuries on scene of this accident. Was he a passenger or the driver? We are learning that he was a rescue passenger. He was partially ejected from the vehicle. We had a female that was ejected from the vehicle. As you can see, the vehicle would have overturned in this area here. And about some 30 feet away, a female was ejected from the vehicle where her body came to rest. She is listed in a serious condition at this time at ICU.
Wow. So again, a traffic accident around 3 o'clock this morning right here on the Frank Watson Boulevard resulted in the death of a young man. Traffic officials continue to stress, drive carefully. We don't know if rain played a factor, but indeed this whole street This is a wide street on the Frank Watson Boulevard. Heavy rains last night filled both lanes with water, and that car took off airborne.
We're not saying that if it would have been airborne, but it did come off the street. It did go into the bushes and return to the street, overturning on the rooftop, and ejecting at least one person completely and one person partially.
Okay, so there you have the details. LaDawn, a sad day. This is the second fatality here in New Providence for the week. We'll have more details because there were the police on the scene when the accident happened, and we'll have that coming up later in this newscast. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Vaughn. Now on to our top story this morning. Despite continuous calls for road safety, slower speeds, and caution to all drivers, police are recording yet another traffic fatality in the capital this morning. The Frank Watson Boulevard was the scene of the tragedy, and our ZNS cameraman Shane Gibson was there. Chief Superintendent Craig Stubbs from the Police Traffic Division gave details on that accident.
Shortly after 3 a.m. this morning, the police control room received a report of a traffic accident where a vehicle would have collided with trees on the Frank Watson highway corridor. Responding officers arrived on scene and confirmed the accident and requested the immediate assistance of the police of EMS personnel. On our arrival, what we can confirm is that we had a silver note traveling eastbound on Frank Watson Highway when it would have veered off onto the southern westbound shoulder of the corridor. The driver apparently lost control and collided with the cluster in the trees that are situated on the southern shoulder. The vehicle then spun out of control and overturned, where we had a female would have been ejected from that vehicle. A rear seat passenger who was unresponsive was confirmed deceased by EMS personnel, and the remaining passengers, the driver and the 2 female victims, were all transported to PMH and Doctors Hospital respectively for further medical assistance. We can say from what we at the scene that there are a lot of mitigating factors that contributed to this accident. We will brief as we can proceed further deep into the investigation. As we speak with the driver, we will give an update as to the causation of the accident and update on the victims that were transported from the scene.
In a lengthy presentation, the acting Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, detailed the country's fiscal performance for the first 6 months of the current fiscal year. One of the key promises of the Minister's administration for the 2018-2019 budget was to pay off $360 million in old bills and reduce the deficit. Turnquest revealed that for the first half of the fiscal year, increased revenue from new taxes paid off a portion of the old bills and decreased the deficit by almost $80 million.
The fiscal deficit contracted by 31%, or $78.7 million, to $175.3 million, in comparison to the same period in the previous fiscal year. And I repeat, we saw a near $80 million reduction year on year in the deficit at the midpoint of the year.
An exchange between National Security Minister the Honorable Marvin Dames and the Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Frederick McAlpine, on Wednesday. In fact, after a short chat with McAlpine, Dames stormed out of the chamber unhappy and at one point was briefly restrained on the steps as he composed himself. McAlpine has been vocal on the issue of corruption. This is what Dames had to say following the exchange.
I'm here to represent the people of Mount Mariah, and as the Minister of National Security, the people of this country. Okay? We made a promise to the Bahamian people when we took office that we will do our endeavor best to clean up corruption within this country, okay, and bring back some level of respectability. I'm not going to turn that into a political charade. I'm not here to play games. All right? We're here to run a country, and things are moving in the right direction. And we'll continue to do that. You know, this is not about politics. This is about making this country a better place for all Bahamians.
McAlpine spoke to reporters outside of the House about the exchange.
This is about people, and I don't think we ought to take it personal. It's about people. It's the people's time. It's the people's house. And it's the people's agenda. And all I'm trying to do is to be amicable and to speak to the issues that affect the people.
A contingent of Bahamians witnessed Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis receive the American Foundation of the University of the West Indies Legacy Award during its gala banquet last night at the Pier Hotel in New York City. The award honors current heads of state who are alumni of the University of the West Indies. Prime Minister Minnis spoke from his heart during his acceptance speech and overwhelmingly thanked his late mother and the people of the Bahamas for affording him the opportunity to serve as Prime Minister. Prime Minister Minnis and his delegation returned to the capital this afternoon. In other news this morning, the role of fisheries officers clearer now as fish stocks are reportedly threatening due to poaching infractions, including harvesting undersized fish and conch. This week, the Department of Marine Resources held a fisheries law enforcement workshop for officers over 2 days. Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources Michael Pintar told them to be ethical doing their jobs without fear. He said additional fisheries officers will be hired as well as new vessels. He also supports arming fisheries officers.
I am in full support of fisheries officers being treated in a similar way as Defense Force officers, as immigration officers, as police officers. You should not go out on the seas where you are tackling very difficult situations and we don't put you in a position that in the event that matters arise, you are unable to defend yourself. So I'm interested in making that case.
And coming up after the break, we're going to hear about what St. John's College has in store for us this year at Mardi Gras. That and more when the morning edition comes right back. Welcome back to the morning edition. Everyone loves St. John's Mardi Gras. It's the most anticipated event in the high school realm, and it's coming up this weekend. Go big or not at all. Canva Mullings, president of the St. John's PTA, and Kaylia Duncombe, treasurer, are our guests this morning to tell us about Mardi Gras. Ladies, welcome to the morning edition.
Thank you. Thank you.
So talk to us a little bit about, I guess, the Mardi Gras. What can we expect this year?
Well, Mardi Gras this year, we're calling all giants, calling mothers, fathers, family, you name it. We want them all down there. Our theme this year is Go Big or Not at All. We have on the grounds this year, we have our alumni lounge, we have our haunted house, which is backed by popular demand. We have our roast corn, we have our international booths, we have something new for our kids this year, our Crazy Kids Corner. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. So we're asking, the road leads to St. John's College, March 2nd. Don't beat us there, meet us there.
So what makes this Mardi Gras different from the previous Mardi Gras that you have, and is there anything different this year?
Yeah, what's different this year, LaDawn, is our theme. Our theme is Go Big, and we have done that. We have taken the Mardi Gras to another level.
So, and where is Mardi Gras going to take place?
At St. John's grounds.
And I know that your school teams have done exceptionally well as of late. Talk to us a little bit about the motorcade, Kaylia.
Okay, today what we're doing is we're having a celebration. We're calling all giants, meet us on the road. We're having a motorcade to celebrate our championship basketball team, senior girls and senior boys, and our junior girls who performed so well. They didn't get the championship, but they were almost there. So we're celebrating all of our teams this morning. We're starting at 12:30 and we will be on the streets. So we're calling all giants, come out on the road and cheer on our students. Bring your green and gray flags. And we're calling all giants to Mardi Gras on Saturday to continue the celebration. We're calling it the Celebration of Champions on Saturday at Mardi Gras. So come on down.
How excited are the kids for the motorcade?
Oh, they are off the walls excited. But what we want to do is we want to thank our sponsors who has helped us very greatly in Mardi Gras. Bahama, Aquapure, Tasty Teas. We called on these people and they said, come and get it. So we want to thank Corporate Bahamas for helping to help our kids to succeed.
Henry and Kaylia, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and best of luck to you on your
Thank
Mardi
you,
Gras
Lord.
and your motorcade. Thank you, ladies, so much. The Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity continues its mission of education under the theme, Go to High School, Go to College. And for the second year, the Greek-lettered fraternity was invited to share its Black History Awareness campaign to students at the C.V. Bethel High School. This year, they invited other fraternities and sororities to join them. It was an invitation well received.
I would say continue to strive for your goals, because as you know, friendship is essential to the soul, and most of our friends will go on to college. You have to go on to college. You have to be the best that you can be so the Bahamas can be the best that it can ultimately be.
It ties into what we are doing here as it relates to job readiness, college readiness, being civic-minded, just all the opportunities that we have for them to share with our students in terms of personal growth and development.
And next month, the Alphas and AKAs are hosting 18 historically Black colleges and universities presidents here in New Providence. Presidents Kevin Basin and Ida Portia Turnquest want parents and high schoolers, seniors rather, to attend.
Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, in conjunction with the AKAs, we have partnered and we are sponsoring 18 presidents from historically Black universities to come here for a recruitment exercise. And there would be possibilities of scholarships.
And so we would like to encourage persons to come out, and the students and parents to come out and speak to the presidents, because not many people have that opportunity to speak to presidents of colleges to see what the college is all about and to think about sending their students there.
Stay close. We've got more news right after this. You're watching The Morning Edition. The descendants of the late Geraldine are having a family reunion that promises to be something special. The grandchildren of Geraldine join us here in studio, Valencia Roberts-Conliffe and Walter Dean. Welcome to The Morning Edition.
Thank you.
Now, I know both of you are descendants of Geraldine. Talk to me a little bit about who was Geraldine.
Well, Geraldine was a great family man, loved sports, owned a lot of other small businesses, venture and a lot of other things. But he would have loved to come off, but you know, so, and some things wasn't successful, and most things were. In terms of, he loved to build coffin, love horse racing, even own several horses, make cement, make lime, own an ice cream shop. Little small, but they call it back in the day the milk stand. But you know, back then they were the big things. So population was small, Geraldine was big. That's my grandfather. Unfortunately, died when I was a little boy. Didn't have time to really get that bond with him, but I'd love to have. But for me, this reunion too is a beautiful thing, and we're doing it in the era of our grandfather. And I think it's a good thing, because I'm just meeting some of my brothers and sisters, some family members I've never ever known, and I almost 100.
And speaking of that family reunion, what actually inspired you guys to actually host the event?
I had a sister died last year, and I never met her. Don't know who she is. She showed up to the funeral along with some of my other aunties and uncles, and we hit it on from there, and never met her. And I said, but y'all, let's do a family reunion. She said, well, we tried one before, it didn't come off, but let's hit it off. If you want to come in and do it, and let's do it. And baby, doing it. Guess what though? What's so important about it and amazing? I have some brothers in Canada, England, parts of the United States I've never met, and just through my sister died. We're talking about it. I on WhatsApp with them, I'm meeting their children, meeting their family, and we hitting it off. And we would love to pull this off for this to be a great event, so our children could get to know one another before my son or my grandson married one of my second cousin or third cousin.
And Valencia, talk to me about the dates for the reunion.
We've set the dates for the 27th, Thursday the 27th to the 30th of June this year, here in Nassau. We have a slew of events that we have scheduled on. First starting with the meet and greet for our relatives who are coming in. We want to make sure that they are settled in their accommodations. And then we'll have a mix and mingle for everybody to come out and meet them. And then the dinner itself will be on Saturday. We'll end it with a church service and a visit to Granddaddy's grave and a farewell picnic.
Valencia and Walter, thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition. And we're going to be checking in with you guys, I guess, for the month or monthly to see how the reunion plans are going. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you too.
Stay close. Sports is up next. You're watching The Morning Edition.
In our final look at weather, we have that frontal boundary now stretching across Abaco and Grand Bahama. It's lifting towards the north, and early next week it will start making its way back towards the south as a cold front, and that will bring some showers and a nice cool down by the middle part of next week. Today we are looking at partly sunny condition, a brief shower developing in the afternoon with the high temperature getting up to 83 degrees. And tonight we're looking at just simply patchy clouds, 72 degrees for your low temperature. The extended weather forecast, 80s right through the cycle and some low 70s. But as we get into early next week, promise you some 60s as the frontal system goes through on Tuesday morning, and we'll get down to about 66 degrees on Wednesday with showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. So, Dawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that's going to do it for this Wednesday's morning edition. See you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow morning. Just before we go, we would like to wish our Trevor Francis in Master Control a very special happy birthday. Enjoy your day, Trevor. I'm LaDawn Davis. Have a great day, everyone.
Well, good morning and welcome to Sports Thursday. I'm Charles Fisher. The Government School Track and Field Championships, they are off and running at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Both junior and seniors competing on the same day. And in the junior division, the CHUH Raptors leads the defending champs AF Valley Tigers after they won 262.5 to 244, with the Lions of HO a distant third with 143. The seniors, they are being led by four-time champs C.I. Walker Knights with 200.5 points. C.I. Gibson right on their trail, 181.5, and in third, trying to add to the basketball title, is the Doris Johnson Mystic Marlins with 123.
Confident again, like I said, with the team. I was strong under 17 and under 20 team, a well-balanced team. So I think once the races get started, we should be able to pick up. It's a little different, a little weaker on the under 20 group, but the under 17 girls and boys that have a pretty strong team. But overall, I have a well-balanced team, I think, overall. And, you know, it's not for those who and not for the swiftest, but those who endure to the end. And we're going to push to the end.
That's going to be a quick wrap on sports. I'm Charles Fisher. Thanks for watching.
Crew would like to wish our VTR editor, Debbie Sears Roll, a very special happy birthday. We heard breakfast is on her, so we're going to leave you now and get to some good old stew fish. Make sure to join us for morning edition at 7 a.m. tomorrow. I'm LaDawn Davis. Have a great day.